number one station,
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, welcome. Today's Thursday, and Health Thursday is back. As usual, we always will not hesitate to take care of your health. That's very important. That's what we say every single time, that on Health Thursday, we take care of your health. Of course, we're talking health, and I did earlier advertise that we're having a guest come answer your questions on fibroid. But just a quick one, we have been hearing about malnutrition. And the Nigerian Vice President, Kashim Shettima, issued a clarion call recently, for unified national action to address Nigeria's worsening malnutrition crisis, which he says is depriving nearly 40% of children under the age of 5 of their full physical and cognitive potential. He was speaking at the National Summit on Nutrition and Food Security in Abuja, where he was represented by Senator Ibrahim Hadeja, who is the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Vice President. Now, the Vice President Shettima did emphasize at that event that Nigeria can no longer afford fragmented efforts in tackling malnutrition, which is a very serious problem in the country. Now, at the heart of the government's response is what is called the Nutrition 774 Initiative, which is a grassroots-focused, community-driven framework, which was launched under President Bola Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda. That nutrition framework was approved by what is known as the National Council on Nutrition, which the Vice President chairs, and the initiative repositions nutrition as a central pillar of national development. I think this is good news for those who've been working on this in that sector. We've had opportunity for people to complain about the fact that they can't feed, and then with the inflation of the country, we've always been asking, this problem of malnutrition is getting worse, and now we're hearing that the federal government has repositioned nutrition as a central pillar of national development. This is very, very important. So the Vice President did commend the National Assembly and all the 36 states' House of Assemblies for establishing and replicating the National Legislative Network on Nutrition and Food Security, and he called it an unprecedented stride in legislative engagement. But he also went on to stress still that the summit should not just be remembered for its attendance, but also for its resolve, and I think it's commendable. The Nutrition 774 initiative is tailored to meet the unique needs, cultural dynamics, and resources of each local government area in the country. Its strategy is anchored by a newly inaugurated strategic board, which comprises legislators, civil society, government technocrats, a board of doers who have been tasked with overseeing implementation and institutionalizing accountability. So that's very, very, very important. And as time goes on, we'll look for a day to talk some more about this particular issue of nutrition, especially as a National Assembly is also moving, from just talking about it to action. And I think the Vice President did say, it was in the news, that about 40% of Nigerian children have nutrition or undernourished. All right, so we'll talk about that some more as we go on. But I want to say a very good morning to our guest, who is comfortably seated and who's ready to answer all your questions regarding fibroids. It's a very, very important issue. Last time he was here, we didn't have enough time, to answer all the questions. So he's graciously accepted to come back and then speak to us on fibroids. And of course, it's been a long time coming. He's been, really, we've been asking for him to come for some time now. So I'd like to introduce Professor Jude Okohue. Prof, good morning to you. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Kofi. Thanks for having me.
I told you when I saw you downstairs that by looking at you, I feel better already. So that's how sometimes I feel around doctors. I see them just the way they appear, how packaged and everything they are. I just feel better. Numbers to call 0201-277-0993. Please call the number and have your say. 0201-277-0993. That's the first number. Second number 0201 465 7190 for our female listeners. 0201 465 7190. And of course, we have a WhatsApp number 08095 975805. 08095 975805. Prof. Jude, you are a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist.
Correct.
Last time we spoke, I think we introduced you as the vice president of the Association of Gynecological Endoscopy Surgeons of Nigeria.
True.
Are we correct? Because that's the bio we prepared with. I just need to be sure.
Yes, and hopefully by September, the incoming president.
Oh, I see. Something was telling me I needed to ask about. All right, interesting. The Association of Gynecological Endoscopy Surgeons of Nigeria.
True.
We call it AGES. Right?
AGES.
Okay, fantastic. So my producer got it right. She got it right. Okay, so July is Fibroid Awareness Month.
Correct.
What is the importance of dedicating 1 month just to discuss and create awareness on this issue called fibroid?
Thank you, Kofi. Once again, I'm happy to be here. Fibroid is a very important topic, especially for our women. Interestingly, you might note that a black woman in particular, irrespective of where she stays, has an 80% chance of developing fibroids at one point or the other in her life. And so it's so common, it's so important, and sometimes it affects what we call the quality of life of those who have this condition, that it is actually germane that a whole month should be dedicated to talking about it, and then hopefully allowing people to have enough information about it so that they can take appropriate action when needed.
The statistic you reeled out is quite worrying. Can you please repeat it?
Okay, the way we put it is that an African, irrespective of where she lives, has a lifetime risk of 80% of developing fibroids.
Wow.
In fact, 1 in 3 black women has fibroids. It's that common. But interestingly, most of them are symptomless. In other words, you might not know except you go for maybe a diagnostic tool, for example, an ultrasound scan. So for most women, nothing needs to be done. Unfortunately, there are some, like I said, whose quality of life can be affected. For example, if you have fibroids where the baby is supposed to stay, that means the center of the womb, there's a chance you might have heavy menses. So imagine losing so much blood every month. If you're not careful, you can become anemic, and that also can have the potential of causing other complications. So that's why it's important.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's a lot. 80% chance for every African woman, irrespective of where they reside, of having fibroid or developing fibroids.
True.
All right. I told our listeners, when we're promoting the discussion earlier in the day, I think around 6 o'clock after the news, that it's the discussion of fibroids does not just concern women. The men are involved as well, and because men are fathers, are brothers, are husbands, and also have to play a great role in ensuring that they support the women who are affected by this. So it's for everybody. So I'll be surprised if we have men calling in today to ask questions on fibroids. Please call right now. We're taking calls from the get-go, because the last time Prof was here, we couldn't take as many calls as we wanted to. 0201 277 0993, 0201 277 0993. And of course, you can call us on WhatsApp. You can send a voice note of 1 minute or less. Our WhatsApp number is 080 95 97 5805. 080 95 97 5805. I forgot to mention Prof is the director of Gynescope Hospital.
Correct.
Did I get it right, sir?
You're correct.
Okay. All right. We have a listener on the line. 99.3. Good morning. Hello. Oh, lost your call there. Sorry about that. Please call. It's important. Some people say, so will it be right and fair while waiting for the next call to describe this as a black woman's issue, fibroids?
Yeah, it is. Even though it does affect the Caucasians, but to a large extent, most of the fibroids we find in them are quite small and insignificant. But the average African woman has multiple fibroids of various sizes in different places. So yes, it's still a condition that affects blacks much more than whites.
Right. 99.3, good morning. Who do we have, please?
Good morning, Kofi. This is Kenny. How are you?
It's been too long, Kenny. I'm fine. How are you?
I know. Sometimes it's such a struggle trying to get through.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, especially the women's line. Professor, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes. I want to know, I hear the propensity of 80% of women developing fibroid at any point in time of their lives. I want to know what causes it. What is the cause so that we'll know if we need to do a lifestyle change or what is the cause? I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
job.
Important question. Unfortunately, we're not particularly sure of what exactly causes fibroids. If we were sure, we probably would have nipped it in the bud from the very beginning. Ongoing research, is still on to look at what could be responsible. But to a large extent, genetics plays a major role. If your mother has or had fibroids, there's a very high chance that you yourself, at some point in life, will probably develop fibroids. I was so happy when you talked about nutrition at the beginning of this show. You talked about undernutrition, but also malnutrition as well. Let's remember that you are what you eat. To a large extent, you are what you eat. And there are some studies that have shown that even diet might even worsen the condition. Processed food in particular, So if you have a family history, for example, maybe you should be very careful taking some of this processed food so you don't worsen the condition. But we still are not very sure of what causes fibroid. However, let me add this. It is said that a womb that delays in carrying a baby to a large extent increases the chances that it will carry a fibroid. So the earlier one carries a pregnancy and puts to birth, the better for her in terms of the prevalence or incidence of having uterine fibroids.
Okay, all right. That's something a lot to process, but also some food for thought right there. 99.3. Good morning. I certainly agree with the nutrition part because we've been reading a lot, and discussing a lot about eating well, eating right on this program. Kenny, I hope that answered your question. If you want to call 99.3. Good morning. Yes, welcome.
Good morning, Kofi.
Welcome.
Thank you, Kofi. I have a friend. My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Aja.
Welcome.
I have a friend, a female friend, that gave birth and that she was diagnosed with a fibroid. So the baby is almost a year now, but she's still bleeding up till date. What exactly is the problem? Is the bleeding linked to the fibroid, or was the pregnancy part of the cause why the fibroid could not stop the bleeding coming out? Because as I'm talking to you, she has lost weight so much, blood transfusion and everything, but up till date, she has been bleeding for more than, this is the second month, if I'm not exaggerating. So please, what exactly is the cause, and what is the link between fibroid and pregnancy that cannot stop that bleeding?
Okay.
Please, the doctor should...
we lost the call. I hope you got him.
Yes, in a way, yes. Well, like I mentioned earlier on, fibroids can cause heavy menses, especially if they're within the center of the womb, where babies normally stay. However, such fibroids, to a large extent, will prevent pregnancy. That's the first thing. Now, if you're lucky to be pregnant and put to birth, and the fibroid is still there, maybe it would have increased in size, then yes, it is possible to still have heavy menses. However, for a woman who just put to birth, I think it's also important to be sure that the placenta and other tissues are not retained. That's actually more common. Placenta tissues being retained in the womb, they will cause continuous heavy bleeding. Because for fibroid, it probably come in during the menses itself. But if it's continuous for like 2 months, like he said, then they need to look at that cavity very well and be sure that some products are not left behind. And there are other conditions, I mean, molar pregnancy and all that, which I cannot delve into now. But she needs to visit a hospital and get appropriate treatment.
All right. We have a caller on our WhatsApp as the first WhatsApp caller of the day. Yeah, can you hear me, please? I think it's some audio, some noise coming from there. Is it from our end? Okay, it's from our end. Can you hear me? We've sorted out. Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yes, please. What's your name?
Hi, this is Didi. My name is Didi.
Okay, we're listening from Didi.
I'm calling from VI.
Okay, please go on.
So basically, this is a very interesting topic this morning. I really appreciate this. So the thing is, I actually wanted to ask the same question that you asked the doctor already. If it's only black people that is affected by fibroid. Then also, I have a scenario where one of my cousins had fibroid. This was like 2 years ago. She didn't even know, as the doctor said, she didn't know she had fibroid. So when she went for a comprehensive scan, she was told that she has fibroid and she was yet to have a kid or be pregnant. So at that time, I have a cousin that is a doctor. She gave her some drugs and everything. But I think she was just hesitant to take out the fibroid. And I think till now, she's still not pregnant. So I don't know how you can convince people like that they need to just take this medication so they can feel better and they can conceive. So I don't know if there's any advice the doctor can give me to, maybe liaise with my cousin and help out of the situation because she still has it.
Okay, hold on,
Thank
Didi.
you.
Hold on, Didi.
Oh, you see, this is very important. You see, people come to me and they tell me they want to remove their fibroids, because they have difficulty conceiving. A majority of fibroids do not prevent pregnancy. We need to take note of that. A majority of fibroids do not prevent pregnancy. Now, if there are other issues, of course, they need to be treated. If she's not ovulating, you need to treat that. If the husband's sperm count is low, you need to look at that as well. But blaming fibroids for infertility is very uncommon. It will become a problem if it's within the center of the womb, like I said earlier on.
Okay.
Some studies also say that if a fibroid not within the center of the womb measures about 5 centimeters and above, very important, 5 centimeters and above, and having difficulty with conception, then maybe it should be taken out. Now, also remember, fibroids depend on estrogen to survive. So if you knock off estrogen, the fibroids will probably shrink.
Sir, what is estrogen?
That's the female hormone what makes you a woman,
I see.
estrogen.
I see.
Now, if you take any medication to shrink or stop fibroids from growing, it means you are knocking off estrogen. And if you reduce the ability of estrogen to carry out its normal function, you can't be pregnant.
So you're taking away what makes you a woman.
Exactly. So you can't take medications to reduce fibroids and expect to be pregnant at the same time. No, it doesn't happen.
Okay.
So it would be nice to look at the situation again and be really sure that she probably meets the criteria of those who have fibroids that could potentially cause infertility. Right. And to quickly answer the first question, yes, Africans have a higher incidence or prevalence of fibroids than the whites.
Okay, interesting way to land. We have about 15 seconds to go for our break. When we come back, we'll take more of your questions. Please bring them on. We're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube. Just search out Nigeria Info FM and you can just type your questions there. That's all we're doing today, taking your questions. So we'll be right back after the break.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
What you're about to taste is so hot, it's got basket mouth singing.
Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Yeah. Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Correct. Heat.
Mini Pepe Ninja
Nothing brings the heat like the bold taste of Mini-Me Noodles Naija Pepper Flavor. Try it today and see for yourself. Mini-Me Noodles Naija Pepper Flavor. Slurp it like it's hot.
Success is like an aeroplane. You only see the graceful flight high up in the sky, but not the roaring, powerful engines propelling it. Likewise, in the world of e-payments, you only see transactions done, funds remitted. But who pioneered these financial technology solutions? Well, you knew it as Value Card, now Unified Payments, Nigeria's premier financial technology service provider. Yes, it starts here. Find out more at www.up-ng.com. Unified Payments, unifying businesses for people. Hey, rewards don't land! When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes and call
3% cash back.
Now so, Smart Cash Cashback don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash Cashback Reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cashback. Or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cashback sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today.
Terms and conditions, Deja.
Remember the name Arenas Plus. When malaria strikes, Arenas Plus. Remember the name Arenas Plus. When you feeling down, Arenas Plus.
Arenax Plus is the name to remember when you need to beat malaria with ease. Arenax Plus is a combination of artemether and lumenfantrine and is effective in the treatment of malaria in adults and children. So the next time malaria strikes, remember the name. Arenax Plus beats malaria with ease.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see a doctor. Available in pharmacies near you. Arenax Plus is a quality product from Swiffer.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us too.
My mom calls it instant goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
For every Naija man, woman, pikin, and the future wey we dey hustle for, two strong names don finally jam. Na confidence bind us together. Dis na Naija wey everyday dey show you say better fit happen. As you dey hustle, dey push, and dey try to make life better, you suppose waka with strong mind. But make we yarn as e be, confidence pass hope. E mean say no matter your waka, no matter who you be, you get who dey your back. Dem go stand for your matter, hold ground, make you no fall. Sanlam Alliance sabi say confidence no be for only people wey get levels. E belong to everybody wey dey try. Na why we join hand. Two strong bodies don turn one heartbeat to give you the main protection wey go follow you for this life journey. Whether na for business, family, or for your daily bread, we dey your side. As we don jam, we go fit protect you pass before. They do more together and they carry each other, they go front. Sanlam plus Alliance don't be one name. Sanlam Alliance. Make una waka your life with confidence.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development and the care they need with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics to help your child's digestion and development, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. Nan Kid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Okay, so this is your total. Do you need anything else?
Yeah, I would like to pay for the person at the back. In fact, add 1 pack of Malta Guinness.
Guy, I won't give you my number. Why are you paying for me?
I just feel like doing good. I don't need a reason to share goodness.
Goodness is not just an expression, it's a way of life. So share the goodness with someone today.
Bro, one for me too, Abby.
Yes, so 1 cold Malta Guinness for you too.
Malta Guinness. Enjoy a world of good.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
What is health? It's more than the absence of illness. It's the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. But let's delve deeper. Health is the heartbeat of life. It's the rhythm that keeps us moving forward. The pulse that echoes our vitality. It's a symphony of balance and harmony, resonating in every aspect of our existence. Health is a silent conductor, orchestrating the dance between the body and mind. It's the energy that propels us towards our dreams and aspirations. It is the foundation upon which we build our futures. So, what is health to you? Join me, Kofi Bartels, this and every Thursday for Health Thursday, 8 a.m. on the Morning Crossfire as we explore important issues affecting your health. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. Still Health Thursday right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Please go to our Facebook page. You can jump on the live stream, and then, of course, you can drop your comments there. All right, on the live stream. We're very, very glad to read them out. All right, so you can drop your comments on our live stream on Facebook. I'm also seeing 1 or 2 comments on our post on YouTube. You'll also be streaming live there, so you can drop your questions, and we're very, very glad to read them. Okay, it's a very important topic, and we know a lot of people out there are interested in it. That's why we brought it back. We'll have it throughout the month. We have an opportunity to have more of such conversations. Our guest on Health Thursday today is a consultant, obstetrician, and gynecologist. He's a vice president and incoming president of the Association of Gynecological Endoscopy Surgeons of Nigeria. He's also the chief medical director of Gynoscope Hospital in Ikate, Elegushi, Lagos. Did I get it right, Prof?
Yes, you're correct.
All right, and you heard his voice there, Professor Jude Ehiabhi, Okohue.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so we're talking fibroid. 0201-277-0993. 0201-277-0993. That's the first number to call. Second number, which is a female line. We're having some issues lately, so please bear with us if you cannot get through. 0201-465-7190. 0201-465-7190. Our WhatsApp number for your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes or calls, 08095-975805. 08095-975805. Any question regarding fibroids, please feel free to ask. Our guest, Professor Okohue, has told us that women of African origin, no matter where they are in the world, have an 80% chance of having some form of fibroids. He also said that translates to 1 in 3 black women, which is really, really sad. Now, research in Nigerian teaching hospitals reveals that fibroids are responsible for a large percentage of gynecological hospital admissions and surgical interventions. That's according to a Global Women's Report from 13 April 2025. So is that the case?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Also, we're told that several studies have shown increased occurrence of uterine fibroids, medically known as it's what it's
leiomyoma.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to disgrace myself. Zena, be careful. Uterine fibroids among women, and more pathetic is the fact that no one knows what causes this uterine fibroid and why it is more prevalent in blacks. Is that the case? You said something like that, but you said there may be suspicions. Prof, are you sure you don't know? Because you've traveled all over the world giving lectures. You're part of several international think tanks. We've gone into study of this issue of fibroid, and You have, you guys have a book and all that. Are you sure you don't know exactly? Have you guys not pinpointed, exactly what it is?
You see, what I think is that, like I said, there's ongoing research.
Okay.
But I think that we should be the ones leading such research.
Okay.
Because
African.
Yes. But talk about grants, talk about funding can be a problem for us back home. So that's why it's probably a bit difficult for us. Yeah.
Because we benefit mostly from it if we can get the solution. And I think you already gave hints. You said, for instance, the genes.
Yeah.
If your mother had fibroids, maybe someone in your family, you may have a chance of having it.
That's true.
You also said sometimes dieting, can also cause, that. Talking about dieting, I've heard in some quarters, people say, oh, if you have fibroids, don't eat meat.
They are correct.
They're correct.
Yeah. Processed food, meat.
Wow. Tell us some more about
sugar. Again, I remember when I was in medical school in the early 90s, there were some conditions that were so difficult to come by. And then this would tell us that these conditions were found mainly in the Western world. Yes, you can argue that maybe they were not being diagnosed, frequently the way they are being diagnosed now. But you see, these conditions also affect quality of life of people. And for some of them, mere seeing the patient physically, you can tell that they're suffering from some of these conditions. For example, what we call PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome.
Okay.
Now, diet has a role, a very significant role to play in that. You see, our Instagram page at Gynescope, we spend a lot of time talking about fruits and vegetables because some of us don't even understand the importance of what we're endowed with. In Africa, we have a lot of organic fruits and vegetables. You can plant almost anywhere
out there when you travel around the world.
You don't see it. Probably you find more of GMO products and all, but we don't even take advantage of them. There's this monkey cola that we posted not too long ago that aroused a lot of interest. Very common in Port Harcourt.
Okay, on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay.
Very common in Port Harcourt.
Monkey cola.
It's called monkey cola.
Okay.
Very crunchy, very nice, very sweet.
Is it bitter cola?
No, it's almost like carrot. You see, I'm even surprised you've never seen it before. It's very popular in Port Harcourt. I've not really seen it in Lagos, So there are so many fruits and vegetables that will help you not just to fight infections and diseases, but also to prevent some of these things. So to a large extent, diet plays a major role in causing diseases or ailments. And going natural as much as possible to a large extent will help in ameliorating some of these conditions. When I talk to some of my patients, I tell them, when you go to the forest, you find animals. That's pure nature. They conceive, they deliver. You hardly see anyone with cancer. You hardly see anyone with any major conditions until you come back home and then you see domesticated animals like dogs and cats. We feed them. We buy food and feed them. At the end, a lot of them have to see the vet. You know what I mean?
But the one in the bush does not see doctor.
They don't see the doctor, and you hardly see any of them with ailments out there because they are going natural.
Yeah.
So it's so important for us to go back to our roots. What our parents used to eat in those days, not somersaulting chicken in quote as I call it.
Oh my! That's a food for thought right there. I've seen some of the fruit you guys shared. I'm going to have to go back and look at it.
Okay.
Yes. Interesting. Okay, let's go back to the phone line 0201-277-0993. I think I told some of you last year that I was on fruit 4 days out of 7 days in a week. Sorry, and they helped me. I that's when I said, so this fat that we're all complaining about, it's not about fat in the meat, it's carbohydrates.
Yeah,
I didn't know, so I had to now reading okay, yeah, I remember this person said it, that person said it. Because out of the 7 days, I was staying off carbs for 4 days, and the results were really feasible.
Exactly.
In my body.
Exactly.
All right. We have a next listener, 99.3. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, welcome. What do we have on the line, please?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Malik from Songwater. Nice topic, though. I want to ask this question. Which one is the best option to tackle this element? Is it medication or surgery?
Okay, good question. Malik, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that earlier on, that any medication that will shrink fibroid will likely prevent the woman from conceiving. So to a large extent, the best way to treat fibroids is surgery. If you are lucky, you might have minimal access surgery, which is what AGES is into, whereby you can use keyhole surgeries, keyhole means of entering the abdomen without really cutting open to take out these fibroids. And you finish the next day or even that very day, the woman goes home with minimal or no scarring.
It's called minimal
access surgery.
Okay,
Yes.
Otherwise known as keyhole surgery.
Keyhole surgery.
Okay, so they don't cut the patient open.
You see, minimal access. So that means the access into the abdomen is minimal. Maybe just stab wounds, but you still operate the way you would have operated if you had cut her open.
Oh.
But the access technique is very minimal. And again, because your hands are not inside the abdomen, you don't touch a lot of tissues. You just use some very small instruments to do what you need to do, and you're out. So that way, a lot of advantages.
So you didn't have the cotton.
No.
I see. I see. Interesting. That's some new technology.
No, it's been there for a very long time.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but it's available in Nigeria.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Laparoscopy and hysteroscopy.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So one of the challenges people have is the cost of now this is laparoscopy and hysteroscopy.
Yes.
But for the fibroid surgery, it's called
myomectomy.
Myomectomy.
Yes.
So the cost of the myomectomy in the country, sometimes discourages people from, going for it because they can't afford it. So you heard you mentioning AGES, which is the group you belong to, the Association of Gynecological Endoscopy Surgeons of Nigeria. Is something you thinking of, having some sort of like a project to make it a bit more accessible to?
Well, yes, that's quite possible. But remember that though probably a small number of Nigerians have insurance cover, but insurance does cover for such treatments. And yes, it does. And most of the government hospitals, it's almost free. It's extremely cheap.
Wow.
To get these things done. So it's when you now go to a private establishment, the cost of running the establishment, or when you add all that together, it seems as if it's on the high side. But it's quite possible to have these surgeries done in some public institutions.
I see. And insurance does cover it.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. So people should take advantage of this thing called health insurance, and it will do a lot for you. All right, let's go to the next listener. 99.3, good morning. Hello? Yeah, please turn off your radio set.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Welcome.
My name is Femi. I'm calling from Ayobo.
Please go.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a sister who had a fibroid, which we've been going to so many hospitals, and the doctors told us that the fibroid is very small, that they can't operate it. And she has been finding it difficult to menstruate. She has been finding it difficult every month during her menstruation. She menstruates 2 times in a month, and she goes through pains. And they said she has been bleeding. And the doctor said if they are going to operate it, that means they will remove the womb. Finally, she won't be able to conceive again. So I just don't know what we can do about this.
All right. Okay. You got everything.
Yes. You see, one doesn't have direct access, to the complete information, take a decision. However, the rule is that if a woman has fibroid and she's bleeding heavily, how do you know you are bleeding heavily? You start seeing lumps of blood during menses, or it's prolonged beyond 7 days. She needs to be treated. Surely needs to be treated. Now, one of the problems I've seen is that a lot of people go for normal scan, which is done through the abdominal ultrasound scan, which is quite common. Now, that scan to a large extent is quite good in a woman who is pregnant, because the womb has expanded because of the pregnancy, so you can see things easily. But for a woman who is not pregnant, it can be a bit difficult and tricky, except you are very experienced. So you can miss a lot of pathologies. A fibroid of even 1 centimeter, you know how small 1 centimeter is? 1 centimeter, if it's in the cavity, that's a submucous fibroid, can cause heavy menses. And if you don't take it away, she will keep on bleeding and she might not be pregnant. So if you do a scan through the vagina, that's a transvaginal ultrasound scan, it sees clearly what's going on. If there's any doubt, we normally pass a camera hysteroscopy to be sure. However, sometimes we mistake fibroids or mistake adenomyosis for fibroid. There's a condition called adenomyosis, which can present with heavy menses and painful menses, but it's not fibroid. So you don't have something to hold on to pull out. So at times, the explanation to the patient might not be very clear to understand that what she has is adenomyosis. And to a large extent, most times you can't really do much about them, say we take out the womb. So I'm hoping it's not adenomyosis that they are dealing with, but they probably need more investigation.
All right, sir. Yes. Okay, let's take another call. Do we have a WhatsApp call? Don't forget the WhatsApp number 08095 975805 08095 975805. I think I've taken this already. You can send a voice note. You can call in whichever you want to send a message. Please feel free to do that. There's one here that says, ask your guest to tell his colleagues, especially in general hospital, to tell women with fibroids to change their diet and lifestyle as well, and not just to tell us about getting pregnant and wait for the fibroids to be big and then come for surgery most times. Look, I think you've talked about diet.
Yes.
I don't know about his colleagues because he's not here to speak on his colleagues, but listen to the doctors is what we'll say. Okay. All right. This is Woruka who says, what size of fibroid can be removed by minimal access? Does removal of fibroid by minimal access improve fertility?
Very, very important question. There was a time when we thought that fibroid size or dimension and probably even the number will determine whether you can remove it via minimal access surgery or via open surgery. However, the experience of the gynecologist matters a lot. Now, when you have fibroids in multiples, I think my record is 156 fibroid seedlings. There is no way in the world you will take that out via minimal access surgery. It's not possible.
156.
Yes, 156, weighing 3-point-something kilograms. You shouldn't even attempt that at all. But when you have to an extent, for me, 7, 8, 9 fibroids, you can count them maybe via MRI, one of the test modalities to carry out to be sure what you want to do. You can attempt to take those ones out through laparoscope. In terms of size, there is no hard and fast rule that says, in those they say 5 centimeters. No, even a 20 centimeter fibroid, as long as there are not so many, can be removed via minimal access surgery, especially laparoscopy. If, however, the fibroid is in the center of the womb, where baby normally stays, that's where hysteroscopy comes in. And for hysteroscopy, to a large extent, fibroids more than 4 centimeters, for hysteroscopy, you should be very, very careful because you'll probably not finish in one attempt at removing it. Okay, it might not be so clear, but those are just the rules that we follow. The number, the sizes, the location. So fibroids in the center of the womb are amenable to hysteroscopic removal. But if you are going to attempt anyone more than 4 centimeters, you must be ready to do it a second time. Fibroids outside the center of the womb, that's what we call intramural and subserous fibroids, can be removed via laparoscopy. But if you're going to remove a number more than probably 8 or 9, then you probably run the risk of some bleeding and all. However, to answer the last question, minimal access surgery does improve fertility because it's even though it's minimal access, it's minimal handling of these tissues. So risk factors and complications like adhesions, which is scar tissue formation that will block fallopian tubes and all, is reduced if you do minimal access surgery. So yes, it does to a large extent improve fertility.
All right.
As well.
Interesting. All right. So Health Thursday, we're talking fibroid as we mark Fibroid Awareness Month. Our guest is Professor Jude Ehiabhi Okohue, who is a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist. He's the chief medical director of Gynescope Hospital and also vice president of the Association of Gynecological Endoscopy Surgeons of Nigeria. Take some more of your questions on our messaging platform before I go back to the phone line so we have time. Wish we had more time. Yemi in Ayobo, he says, how safe is surgical operation of uterine fibroid, on uterine fibroid, especially in perimenopausal women that causes very severe bleeding on a monthly basis?
The answer to that question is, when you have a perimenopausal woman and you are sure of that, please take out the womb. Please take out the womb. Because at that point in time, perimenopausal means it's around the menopausal period, whereby eggs are exhausted and cannot conceive on our own naturally. See, there's always a risk of cancer, and nobody prays for that. But you have no idea who will have cancer later in future. So if you have fibroids that are disturbing you at that point in time, the best thing is to take out the womb itself. That way, if you remove the fibroids, remove the womb, and there's no risk of future cancer of the womb. So that's the best approach.
Interesting. Betty in the corridor says, I want to ask the doctor, the Yorubas say any woman without fibroid cannot give birth. How far is that true?
Any woman without
fibroid cannot give birth.
No, that's not.
Yoruba thing.
No, that's not true.
Okay, I guess she's from that part of the country.
Yeah.
Herin Sagam, good morning to you. He says, ask your guests if frequent sexual intercourse prevents a woman from having fibroids. That's an interesting question.
Maybe we'll do some research on that. but I'm not aware. There's no research paper that says that that will reduce fibroid incidence.
Is it known that fibroids make sexual intercourse a bit more difficult?
No, it probably depends on where the fibroids are. Okay. You know, if you have a fibroid close to the cervix, for example, of course you might have some difficulty. But fibroids hardly do cause dyspareunia, as we call it.
All right, Dolapo is on the island. He says, my fiance went for abdominal scan. In the process was diagnosed of bulky and antiverted uterus with heterogeneous myometrial echo texture measuring about 107 millimeters by 59 millimeters longitudinal X, I think the X stands for
axis,
AP diameters.
That is ultrasound scan report.
Okay. Oh boy. Dolapo. So the doctor dismissed it, that it wasn't a big deal, but she seldom complains of low abdominal pain. Could there be pain as a result of the fibroid? It means that she always complains of pain.
Well, it's rare for fibroids to cause pain, but sometimes when there go some changes, like what we call degeneration, you know, in such instances, yes, it's a possibility. Or the fibroid is just hanging on the womb and it's able to move freely. It can twist, you know, and cause a lot of pain. But fibroids generally hardly cause pain. So other causes might be there.
All right, interesting. I wish we had more time. Prof, before you go, what would you say to people out there, you know, who are listening, to especially families who are grappling with this particular situation?
Well, again, fibroid is not a death sentence at all, and it's quite common. And when you are diagnosed with fibroids, as long as it's not causing any harm in terms of your quality of life, maybe from heavy menses, or we don't think that it's causing infertility, you really don't need to worry. Now, if by chance you need to take it out, then please do not hesitate to take it out. I've heard cases of people telling me, oh, I hear a lot of stories, you die from it and all that. Well, in my about 30 years of practice, quite frankly, I've not seen a woman die during fibroid surgery.
Okay.
Personally, not seen one, even while being trained and all. So it's a straightforward surgery because our people, the doctors here, see a lot of these cases and do a lot of them over time. So, yes.
Prof, we have to leave it at that. We'll have you back again. Professor Jude Okohue is consultant obstetrician and gynecologist and chief medical director of Gynescope Hospital. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Say you still fit go on holiday, make you no day complain. Retire in grand style, make it worth your while. Choose a partner that won't stress you out. Let's shape your future. Access ARM is working for you. Access ARM is investing for you to live a life that you dream for you. We no go
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live